Welcome to this week's edition of Mainly Motorsports here with Greg Emerson, back in our familiar, what looks to be familiar surroundings, but to the naked eye, they don't realize we've got a big change.
Yeah, we moved.
Mainly Motorsports has a new location down here in the North Dam Mill down in Biddeford. We've got our own studio. It's work in progress, but
Yeah,
you know, now we have what we officially can call the Mainly Motorsports headquarters.
yep.
So it's going to be pretty good. We're going to get cleaned up, and it's going to be a lot. You know, I think it's going to be easier and nicer for us, as well as
It'll be
in studio guests. And
once everything's all set up, it'll be
yeah,
fantastic.
yeah. And there's a lot of businesses down here,
Yeah.
so it's a chance for we're going to have now.
There's an auction this
We're
afternoon.
going to go to an auction, but I want to plan on having more people in the studio and
Right.
on set. It's just, I don't want to say it's easier, but it's just neat to get, especially, I mean, I think back a few weeks ago, those kids were just ecstatic to think that they got to be on the Mainly Motorsports set, and to me or you, we're here every week, it's not a big deal, but to kids...
Were they ecstatic to freeze in the old studio?
freeze in here.
That's what gave me my cold there a few weeks back.
Yeah, this one's got heat, but then we had last week's show. What a great time out there.
Yeah, it was.
The Hannaford complex, and Goodwin and Ann, and because poor Josh, he didn't make the cutting room floor or whatever they said.
Yeah.
But no, we're gonna have Josh here today, and hear his take on some of the things that took place
Right, yep.
over this past racing season, but also in his young career. He is a young career, a young driver. And I know last week you saw the big announcement flicker in at the end of the show and stuff, but we're unable to make that announcement today.
Couldn't cross the T's and dot the I's,
and it's
could
not
ya?
on our end; it's on higher powers to be than us. And once we're able to talk about it, but I'm gonna go on a limb and say next week this should be out. And now it's because of some things happening, it really isn't as time sensitive as it was gonna be. So it's gonna give us a little more time to do some more things with it. And I don't want to let the cat out of the bag just in case something does fall apart. But
Stop talking about it before you drop the bomb.
Sorry, before I drop the bomb, but it's that time of year. We're within a month of the Northeast Motorsports Expo, but because of the age of the internet, people are able to get the schedules out earlier, and people are able to find out about them. And we had a couple of touring series that released their schedules this week.
ACT and Pass North and South come out this week.
Yeah, Pass is what I consider a real good schedule.
Yeah, they have 15 events in the North, 16 in the South, and I know that we up here don't really care that much about the South, schedule. But I mean, in the North, they got 10 different tracks that they're going to. 15 races. That's a good little piece right there. And they're spread out pretty decent.
With their marquee event being
the 300 at the end of the year, Beechridge.
The past 400 weekend with all, and we all know that you won't see as much racing in one weekend as you will see there.
Yeah.
And then they're back again to be part of the 250.
Yeah, the Saturday night before, they're going to be back there. And they're going to be back at the end of the year at Oxford too. So
yeah, a few people are disappointed at the fact that they're not, the modifieds aren't on the undercard at the 250 like they were this year. So I mean,
hey, you don't know what happened. There could be some external circumstance that affected it.
And I'm hearing, and I don't know, it's not etched in stone, but I'm also hearing that they're not going to be at Beechridge. So I mean, that's just a rumor I heard, but we'll see.
That's the rumor.
See once Beechridge schedule comes out. But then over on the ACT side of things, they have 10 points events. Then they have the 3 special events. Actually, I think there's 4 special events: the 250, and then the Milk Bowl, the Invitational at Loudon, and then the Showdown at Autodrome. And they're running at 11 tracks, and some pretty historical places,
Yeah, so they're pretty much on par with one another.
Yep. And so we got a lot of main guys, obviously, on the Pro All-Star Series side of things that follow that tour. But then the last couple of years, the guys from Maine have really stepped up and been supportive and chased that ACT dream.
Right.
And, wouldn't it be great? And not that I want to see Brian Hoare get knocked off his perch, but wouldn't it be neat to see whether it was Ben Ashline or Glenn Luce or Austin Terrio or one of these guys that chases
a main driver win the ACT Tour.
Yeah, and Brian Hoare's reign in RPM Motorsports.
Right.
So
that's going to be tough to do.
Yeah, because they got their act together.
Yeah.
But
no pun intended.
Yeah, really. But we got a great show planned today. Like I mentioned earlier, we're going to have Josh Cantera in the house.
That should be good. get his take on things.
The 2011 Star.
Ekeys for modified champion.
You know, we heard from Goodwin and Ann last week and Arthur, so, you know, now we'll hear Josh's take, you know,
Right.
the young driver. Then we got Chris Marley did a piece on, you know, we try to branch out, and Chris has really helped out with this, of being able to get to those out of the way places, the other things that might be motorsports related.
Right.
That, you know, we don't have the time to really give them their time on Mainly Motorsports, but they're all deserving and they all have a following. Well, Granite Leisure Time, or Granite, it's actually Granite Time Leisure, had a RC event a couple weeks ago, Racing for Hunger, and the event was free to participate in, but you just had to bring a non-perishable item for
Right,
Thanksgiving. And they collected a ton of stuff, and you'll see in the piece later on, you know, it was really a good time and pretty neat, you know, and that's something we could race, right? Maybe.
And be competitive
well,
anyway.
no, I've been trying to have this match race with you. Maybe we could, you know, these big off-road trucks, we could have a race, you know what I mean?
We need to get on an iRacing simulator or something.
Yeah.
I've never done it.
Really?
Swear to God, never done it.
I've done it down to one of the off-season shows. They had them set up, so it looks
Yeah.
pretty neat, and I think it's helping these young drivers become the drivers they
Right.
are. And then you're going to hear from Kyle Fredrickson, who
That was
back
from earlier this
Yeah,
summer
back in the
when we were
summertime.
at the Reynolds Motorsports
But-
event.
But
Yeah.
Kyle's going to be participating along with Speedway Illustrated in the 24th Annual Northeast Motorsports Expo. So
Yeah,
it'll
he's
be
a great
good.
guy. So.
Yeah, he is. And you know, if you haven't got your Speedway Illustrated subscription, don't get it yet unless you want to buy it for somebody for Christmas. But make sure you come to the show, and you know it's going to be a chance to sign up and you know.
Or even renew, you're right.
Yeah, sign up or renew. So, you know, it's great. There's a lot of information. And one thing, I mean, obviously they care about the Cup guys and all that, but, you know, they always have that little story in about the little guys, you know,
Yeah.
the little short track in Iowa or North
It's
Carolina or
littered,
somewhere, you
It's
know.
littered with short track stories.
Yeah, so we got, you know, we got that. We're going to obviously talk about the Northeast Motorsports Expo. I'm sure at some point of the show, Kurt Busch is going to come into the fray. You know, we're always talking about Busch here. You know, what's the deal? Huh? And
They can't get enough attention.
yeah, and then you know the grip seminar that's coming up.
Yeah,
You know, we'll touch a little bit on that, and you know, just there's always something.
We're jam-packed today.
We always find stuff to talk about. But we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back here at our new headquarters down here at the North Dam Mill from Mainly Motorsports.
Today's vehicles are equipped with complex safety features such as anti-lock brakes, seatbelt restraints, and airbag systems. Even collision avoidance systems. Not available on all models. Hi, I'm Sean Moody from Moody's Collision Centers. We don't wish bad luck on anyone, but even with today's technology, we need to keep our eyes on the road and our hands on the wheel.
Moody's Collision Centers, now with 6 convenient locations.
Life in Maine is all about outdoor fun and being close to nature. Southern Maine Jeep is all about delivering you the best selection and the best prices at one location. Live it up with a new 2011 Jeep Grand Cherokee, increased horsepower and mileage, or go for the all-new look of the Jeep Compass 4x4. If Maine had a state car, it would be the Jeep. No other vehicle has the capabilities that come standard on every Jeep. No other dealer is working as hard to be #1 as Southern Maine Motors.
Patman's Redemption and Agency Liquor Store is located at 95 Tanberg Trail in Windham, Maine. With over 400 feet of hard liquor and 15 doors of ice-cold beer and soda, Patman's can handle all of your beverage needs. And if it's wine on your agenda, we have over 300 varieties in stock. Then when the party's over, Patman's can handle all of your Maine returnables, and we welcome all bottle drives. And if you're late for the race, drop off the bottles and pick up the cash at your convenience.
Hey, this is Pat Man himself, just letting you know that Pat Man's is your one-stop shop for all your thirsty needs.
You're watching Mainly Motorsports, brought to you by Award Champs, rewarding your champions, the official supplier of Mainly Motorsports. LKQ Core, any part, any repair, anywhere. Located on Route 202 in Gorham.
Well, welcome back to Mainly Motorsports here with Greg, and we talked about the RC things, and they had the RC things when we were kids. When I was a kid, I remember I couldn't wait for the Sears Wish Book to come in the mailbox, because I'd go in and every year I would circle off which AFX track I wanted. But now these kids have so many other options, and and one of the big things going on, and you'll see yourself wearing the hat, Award Champs, Todd Mead and his son have gotten into this RC racing.
Oh, yeah?
And a lot of people do. And, you know, the King's up in, you know, Tyler King and his family, they've been doing them. Leo Jola, and you'll start seeing, you know, a lot of guys
Yeah.
just looking for that fix during the off season. And I guess RC racing is the way to go. But over at Granite Leisure Time, they had the Race for Hunger. Chris Marley went up there and caught up with a couple of them. Kevin Purnell, you know, which him and his family, they own Granite Leisure Time.
Yep.
So, you know, give them a chance to talk about the event. And then he did an interview with a guy named Mike. They call him the go-to guy. So Mike's like one of those, and every track's got him. I don't care if you're Beech Ridge, Oxford, Unity, Bangor, the go-kart track, the lawnmower track, the pulling tractors, every track's got him. That guy that if you got a problem, he's the go-to guy.
Right.
And Mike's it for there. So enjoy this piece that Chris Marley was able to put together here on Mainly Motorsports.
This is Chris Marley with Mainly Motorsports. We're down here today in Oakland at Granite Leisure Time at the second annual Race for Hunger event. And we've caught up with Kevin Purnell. Kevin, thank you for having us down here today and also just taking a few minutes with us. Tell us a little bit about Granite Leisure Time and what that is and what kind of racing do you do here?
Well, we started in 2008 and basically started in a garage. And we built it into the hobby shop and eventually evolved into the track here you see behind you. We did it as family fun. We did it to promote the fun because it brought us together as a family as well. And that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to hit home with everybody. We wanted to show them how this is fun and how it can bring fathers and sons together, mothers and daughters, mothers and sons. It's just amazing at what this can do for a family. It's a lot of fun, and we enjoy it. So,
now, you're doing the second annual Race for Hunger here today, and I noticed that you know, you're shooting for a goal of 3,000 non-perishable items. How would that stack up for you as far as where you were last year to where you are this year? I noticed that the corner's filling up over there.
Yes, last year it was extremely successful. We shot for 2,000. We did an entry fee of 24 cans. This year we doubled that to 50 cans, and we're shooting for that 3,000 goal. Currently, like you said, you see the stack over there. There's a little over 900 so far, and it's still very early. There's about half our racers here, as you can see. So,
yeah, it really looks like you're gonna meet that, I hope.
I hope so.
Now, you have various events here throughout the week, Kevin. Could you just kind of elaborate on other events that you do here?
Yep. During every Friday, we do the short course racing. We do HPI Blitz, Traxxas Slash, the Team Associated SC10, short course type trucks. Every Friday, we start at 7 o'clock, and during the week, we have a flying group. They come in on Wednesdays, the first and third Wednesdays of every month, and Tuesday nights we do the pan cars. There are 13.5s, there's 17.5s, some specs. It's more like the stock car racing type. It's an oval, and it's not like a road course for the short course trucks. Right now, we're looking to put a new carpet in, so we can, as you can see, there's a few holes, and that really affects those type of cars because they're low to the ground, hits the bodies. And then we have birthday parties that come in a few times a month. So that's mainly the events. There's some rock crawling. Right now, there's actually guys out back that are rock crawling. We got a rock crawling wall where they crawl inside here. So it's pretty much open for people to come in when we're here during our hours. If they want to come rent a vehicle, if they want to bring their own vehicle and just drive on the track by themselves, they're more than welcome to do that too.
Now, on the beginner's level, what does it take to get involved in RC cost-wise, and what would be your recommendation for somebody who sees this and says, you know, this looks like a lot of fun, like to get involved?
Well, it really depends. If you're looking for something that you're gonna drive at home, and you know, something that's durable, you're gonna be in about the $260 range with like the Traxxas Slash. They've got a great product. Their customer service is excellent, top of the industry, I think. But you don't have to start there. There's new trucks that just came out that are pretty durable. They're called the Electrics Company is what it's called. It's called Electrics. And we're actually raffling off a truck called the Torment, and that's $160. It comes with a battery. It's got a charger it's like an 8-hour charger. but it comes with everything for $160. You can replace the parts. The biggest thing, you don't have to throw the truck away if it breaks. You can come here, you can buy the parts, and you can install them. It helps teach, too. It helps teach mechanics of vehicles. There's a lot of similarities between these vehicles and real vehicles. And you can buy everything right down to the screws on the trucks. And if you've ever seen the schematics, it's pretty amazing.
Now, Granite Leisure Time carries everything that you need to get this thing going then?
We try to. We try and keep on top of it. We've got quite a stock in the store. We have over 300,000 parts. We try and keep most of the popular ones on hand. If we can order them, and we usually have them within 3 to 4 days, sometimes a week. So it's fairly quick turnaround.
Well, great, Kevin. Again, thanks for having us down here today. We're really enjoying ourselves, and thanks.
Well, thank you for coming. I really appreciate it.
We're with Mike Corson, who runs here every week at Granite Leisure Time. And Mike, we want to just thank you for taking a few minutes with us. Mike, tell us a little bit about your involvement here at Granite Leisure Time and RC Racing.
Well, I mean, in racing in general, I've been in racing in general for 20 years. I've been working with K2 and Big Kevin for the last couple of years. I help them when I can. I'm usually the go-to guy. If something's broke, I'm fixing it. Everybody comes looking for me. I would rather spend my time helping the new people come in, as the young kids or the fathers and sons that are just trying to do it, than I would even worry about racing Friday nights. I'm not that concerned with racing anymore like I used to be in the 80s. It's just a hobby for me now. I enjoy it more now.
Yep. Now, tell me, how competitive is this form of racing, and what does it take each week as, you bring these cars in here? I was watching today, and I see that they get some rough and tumble stuff going on here. And so how much preparation time is involved in the run of a week?
On our regular Friday night racing, we try not to keep it real competitive because we're trying to get all the young kids in, so we try to keep it pretty lax. Some of us, me included, I have $600 to $800 tied up in my truck. Every week I'm usually rebuilding shocks. If the track changes, I change spring packages. It really depends on what you want to do. Some vehicles, there's not a lot you can do with them, so you run them out of the box. It's just fun. With Friday nights, we just try to, it's not real strict. We try to keep everything lax, no big hurries, just try to have everybody have a good time.
Now, are there situations where there are tech rules that need to be adhered to in racing here?
Yeah, when we do, we have a point series. We're just starting, actually, first race is today. We do have a set of rules. We have ride height rules. We do have a motor and speed controller rules, but right now, this series, we're running an open series, so it's to run what you brung, whatever you want to tweak. You want to blow your motor up, you can blow your motor up if you care to. But that's just the way we do it.
Well, okay, Mike. Well, we want to thank you, and it sounds like it's going to be a good time out there today. So.
Yeah, I hope so. I think it's going to be awesome. So far, we've had a pretty good turnout. Hoping to see a lot more people show up, and may the best guy win.
Thanks, Mike.
Thinking about a new camper? What if you could get a new camper now and not pay for it till next year? Now you can at Scotts Recreation. Buy a new travel trailer, we'll make your payments until January 2012. Buy any new fifth wheel, we'll make your payments until March 2012. Over 100 units in stock and online at scottsrecreation.com. Camp now, pay later.
Scotts Recreation, Route 4 Turner and Route 202 Manchester, Maine.
Clark's Car Crushing has been a family-owned and operated business since 1978. We do everything from crushing cars, handling industrial scraps, to buying the scrap metal right out of the back of your pickup. Copper, brass, stainless steel, aluminum, you name it, we'll buy it. We have roll-off containers of all sizes for industrial accounts. We'll handle the legwork with full drop-off and pickup services. So for a professional job, guaranteed honest weights, and top dollar paid statewide, come see the Clark family in Farmingdale, Maine. Clark's Car Crushing. Don't fix it, scrap it.
Teacher, car salesman, take advantage of me.
You didn't go to Ospey Trail?
No, I went to the other guys.
Other guys.
Don't bother going to the other guys. Go to Ossipee Trail Motor Sales, Route 25, Gorham.
You're watching Mainly Motorsports, brought to you by Northern Race Tire. dealer for Sunoco Race Fuels, distributed by New England Racing Fuel. Moody's Collision Centers, now in 5 convenient locations: Biddeford, Gorham, Portland, Sanford, and Scarborough.
All right, I'm here with Josh Cantera, and we just saw a piece on RC car racing. Josh, is there anything that you do in the wintertime to kind of chill your racing fix, like RC cars or something like that?
I go snowmobiling.
You do go snowmobiling. You got a 2-up seat, you want to pop wheelies all day? We'll get me or Steve on the back of it and carry the skis across the lake.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, we're back here and we're going to talk to Josh, who was the 2011 E-Keys for Cars Modified champion at Star Speedway. We talked to his car owners, Goodwin and Ann Hannaford, last week's episode. So we're going to get right into it now and start hammering Josh with some questions. And pay attention, because Josh isn't real talkative, so he just gets it done behind the wheel, that's all. So take us through the steps, you know, for people who don't really know you. Take us through you coming up through your racing career, what you did to get to where you are today.
I started off racing go-karts for 3 years at Beech Ridge. Then I went to White Mountain for 2 years in the kids' trucks. I went to Pro Series at Beech Ridge again.
Yep.
I did that for 2 years, and after that went into the modified.
What was the transition like going from basically all full-bodied vehicles that you, full-size vehicles that you raced, to an open-wheel modified, and especially at a track like Star, which is a quarter-mile little bull ring?
It was completely different. Car weighs a lot less and has a lot wider tires and lower center of gravity.
Right.
Wasn't anything like the Pro Stock, so I had to learn a lot.
Right. And, you know, Goodwin and Ann have been around for a long time, and you are fairly new on the scene, and, you know, just explain, like, how it works between you and Goodwin. I mean, there's obviously a pretty good generation gap between the two of you. Explain how that works out for the two of you. I mean, does he throw the granddad thing at you, or how does that work?
I think of him as a grandfather to me. Everything we do, it just works. I understand him and he understands me, so he knows what I want the car to be set up like, and
yeah,
I can tell him how it is.
Right. And now, what, you know, you're from Maine, and this is Mainely Motorsports, but you run at Star Speedway, which is a New Hampshire track. And it had a long history of being owned by the Weber family, and we had a few years that Bobby MacArthur ran it and stuff like that. But the Webers have taken back over. Talk about the resurgence of Star Speedway and the Weber family and stuff like that.
I love racing there. It's a good track. It makes for good racing. The Weber family has done an awesome job reopening it. They make it fair, and we have a good time every time we go.
Right. And, you know, what were some of your highlights from this year, this championship season?
Every week was always different. It was fun. We had our challenges every week, but that's what made it all worth it. We didn't just get it. We had to earn it.
Right.
And, probably winning one of the first race this year was awesome.
Right. Now, this is your first championship in anything you've done also, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously it's special to you. What's it mean to give Goodwin and Ann basically their first championship as a team, to give them that championship that they've so sought after for so many years, you know? What's it mean to Josh Cantera for them?
It's awesome. They've worked hard to do anything they can do to make the car there every week, and I'm glad I could be the one to help them get it.
Right, yeah. And now, obviously you've had people who have got you there to where you are from where you began, like your dad. I know your dad's always with you, but there's also other people always involved. And, you know, talk about the people involved not only in the 2011 season for you guys, but, you know, some of the people that have helped you come up through and stuff like that.
My mom and dad have been there since the beginning and supported me and through racing for whatever I did. My girlfriend Jessica, she helps keep me grounded and helps on the car a lot. Got Chuck and Paul and Ken, Arthur, Goodwin and Ann. They all do everything they can.
Right. And you know, from being at the Hannaford shop and stuff like that, we learned you do have sort of like a special relationship with Arthur, and you guys get along real good. You know, that must hit home a lot for Goodwin and Nan, seeing how you guys, you know, get along together. And it must, you know, I know Goodwin, and I know that it must be a real special feeling for him to see how well you and Arthur work together, you know. So that must be kind of heartfelt in a way too, you know, to see that and know that you're contributing and stuff like that. And it's just a special feeling, and you know when you got it, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, what's the future hold for Josh Cantera? Do you have any future aspirations other than what you're doing right now, or?
I want to stay in a modified. We want to go back to Star next year and hopefully get a second championship.
Yeah. That's as far as you're looking in the future?
Yeah, that's as far as I can see.
Well, it was good talking to you, Josh, and congrats on the championship. And, you know, hopefully you can rally back through and get through the next year and do the same thing, you know?
Yeah,
so
thanks.
That'll be good. And so now we're going to take a commercial break, and when we come back, Steve will be back on set, and it'll be right filled up with big guys.
Is it time to replace that old car, but past credit problems are getting in the way? At JT Motors, credit issues are a thing of the past. We have vehicles for any need. Growing family? How about a minivan? With winter here, come in and browse our great selection of four-wheel drive utilities. With a low down payment, you can qualify for this program despite those past credit issues. That's JT Motors, 650 Roosevelt Trail, Windham, where you always drive away with a smile on your face.
Patman's Redemption and Agency Liquor Store is located at 95 Tanberg Trail in Windham, Maine. With over 400 feet of hard liquor and 15 doors of ice-cold beer and soda, Patman's can handle all of your beverage needs. And if it's wine on your agenda, we have over 300 varieties in stock. Then when the party's over, Patman's can handle all of your main returnables, and we welcome all bottle drives. And if you're late for the race, drop off the bottles and pick up the cash at your convenience.
Hey, this is Pat Man himself, just letting you know that Pat Man's is your one-stop shop for all your thirsty needs.
All of us at Moody's Collision Centers would like to thank you for supporting us for over 30 years.
We all own stock in Moody's and have a vested interest in you and your vehicle.
The people at Moody's Collision Centers are part of the community, and our reputation is very important to us.
We take pride in our work and guarantee our repairs for as long as you own your vehicle.
At Moody's Collision Center, we care about our customers.
So when your insurance company asks where you want to go, tell them Moody's Collision Centers. 4 convenient locations: Gorham, Scarborough, Biddeford, and now Portland.
You're watching Mainly Motorsports, brought to you by Clark's Car Crushing, located in Hollowell, providing guaranteed honest weights with top dollar being paid. Gary Hotels, located in Brunswick, Freeport, Waterville, and Augusta, the official hotel of Mainly Motorsports.
Well, Greg, you're right. We do fill up the set more than these little guys like Josh Cantera, those kids 2 weeks ago, you know. Like,
I thought you'd enjoy that.
Get Mo Young on here. Get Mo Young. Now, there's a guy, you know, beefy like us, you know. I don't know how we, you know, Dave would probably have to shoot it from where in Biddeford. He'd probably have to set the camera up in Saco. You know, maybe we could, I got a good one. I got a good one coming up for us. Trust me, down the road. People.
I know, I don't trust you, just so you know.
Trust me.
In case you haven't figured it out yet.
You're not don't think you're on an island by yourself with not trusting me. But it's good to, you know, Josh, and, you know, what a great opportunity for that whole group, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's neat when you have a young driver, and there aren't a lot of, and you think about this, there aren't a lot of driver, car owner relationships that aren't family.
Right.
You know what I mean? So him to drive for the Hannafords, it's not family, is pretty neat, because that makes it tougher, because, you know, obviously your family's going to be able to screw up.
It's good for Josh, but it also shows the dedication of the Hannaford family. You know?
And then that leads us into our next subject, which is right up the alley of the Josh Canteras of what they're looking for, and that's the grip seminars being put together by Gary Crooks and Travis Barrett.
Yep.
You know, anybody that's not aware of what the grip seminars are can go to gripseminars.com to get all the information. But it's basically going to be a 4-day seminar, but you can have 2 days, 3 days, 1 day, whatever you want.
Yeah.
They get different prices from different ranges and different things. You know, you might not think you need it all, and
right.
Which most races are already geniuses, but right.
Just ask them.
Yeah, just ask them. But no, I'm just kidding. But there is a lot of good information and a lot of very knowledgeable people in the sport and the industry of auto racing.
I mean, they're still putting some stuff together, but I mean, right now they have obviously Gary Crooks, who's well known. He has Gary Crooks Racing down in North Carolina, and he's been Lonnie Somerville's crew chief this year for Mulkern Racing.
Yeah.
And, you know, got Lonnie his first win and
Gary,
straight up there in points.
Gary's kind of be a hired gun.
Yeah.
From years past, you'd see him at a race everywhere, you know, and you know, that jumps us to the next guy that Gary is kind of involved with that gave Austin Terrio the shot, and that's Wayne Southerton, who is the driver development manager and team manager for Brad Keselowski Racing.
Yeah, he's the driver development / team manager for Brad Keselowski Racing's super late model thing, but I believe he's also the team manager for their truck team.
Yeah.
You know, so he's got a lot of wealth and knowledge and seeing how to develop young guys, and you know, that'll be good to hear how you know, when he talks about driver development and stuff like that.
Yeah, and then like a guy like Josh Cantera, Ben Ashline,
right.
a couple names
Perfect example.
come to mind. You know that you know could benefit from getting some knowledge or getting some tips from Wayne.
Learning what the things that those people are looking for, you know.
And then when it comes to suspensions, right? I mean, there's pretty well known company down the south.
Ari Suspension.
Yeah, the Enders.
Jason Enders.
Yep. And so he's going to be able to take you through shock packages, and now you say, well, geez, I run the Actor, or I run a track where I have a spec shock, or it doesn't matter. Every car's got 4 shocks.
Right.
Whether you can rebuild them or not, you need the shocks to do what you need them or want them to do.
And he's got a wealth of knowledge about that stuff, and I'm sure in this seminar there'll be plenty of explanation about what's this mean and what's that mean. I mean, there's so much involved with shocks, it'll blow your mind off sometimes.
Yeah, and it's almost like with what they're trying to do here, they're trying to put together the perfect race team.
Right.
And when I say that, you think your perfect race team, you have a crew chief, you have a car chief,
right.
You have a tire specialist, you have a suspension, a chassis guru, you have all these.
Right.
That's the perfect race team. When you talk, the cup level and nationwide level and truck level and even
everybody's
some of the
specialist.
Top, so everybody's a specialist. So at Saturday night racing, a lot of times, you putting the tire on, you're wiping the car down, you're changing a spark plug, you're doing it all. So you're not really having no specialists. But this grip seminars is a chance for you to go hear from the specialists.
They're going to bring in some of the top guys from around, around the country.
Around the country. And then one of the local boys building chassis and builds a lot of winning stuff on the ACT tour, and that's Mitch Green.
Yep, that'll definitely be interesting. Bring a little local flavor into it, and somebody that the people that would go to it will actually recognize. So, and I know they're trying real hard, and there's only 100 slots.
Yeah. So you're going to get more of that personal
100.
One-on-one attention.
Right.
Obviously, there's not going to be 100 instructors for 100 people, but
right.
It's not like you're sitting in a room with 700 people and you're not even a number by that point. You're just whatever.
Right.
And it's coming up January 19th through the 22nd, right in Portland at the Seasons. I think it's the Seasons Convention Center.
Yeah.
Right over behind the Howard Johnson's.
Yeah. It used to be Varillo's.
Yep. So it's right in there. The motel Howard Johnson's is going to give some special room rates. So people traveling from out of town, I suspect you'll see some guys come from Canada down Halifax group, because that's actually where Gary
is
Crooks
originally from, right?
Cut his teeth. So, for more information and all the pricing and all the info you need about this seminar, you go to gripseminars.com.
Right.
It's got everything you need. We're going to have Gary, we'll call Gary up on an upcoming show, get him on the line, and let him talk a little bit about it, the concept. Travis Barrett might come in and sit in the studio for a while and talk about his side of things, because he's doing a lot with it, and I don't know how much experience Travis has got behind the wheel, so I don't think, but he has his forte when I talk about the perfect race team.
Right.
The guy
The
that's
PR guy.
the PR guy, getting the word out, the promoting, using the social network, you know, and you need that. You need everything to make it work, and
Right.
you know, and that's what they're trying to do. Maybe we could get Travis in with, you know, a little media event. Maybe we get an RC media event, because I know, you know, it'd be tough to. You don't even want to get in a race car, so there's no way to find. And we need to find like mini stock type of race cars to have a little fun match race with. Maybe we got Mike Twist from, you know, 51, Travis, yourself, me, Marco, and that, but. Where are you going to find a mini stock that's going to fit me and you? It would have to be like a short bus with all the seats ripped out. So, you know, so yeah, that's probably not going to happen, right? What are you laughing about? I mean, Greg, facts are facts, dude.
Yeah, no, I'm not getting in anything.
We'd fill up the cab.
You'd try to crash me anyway. So.
No, I wouldn't do that because I'm focused to win. I want to win.
Right.
So I wouldn't try to crash you.
Yeah.
But
well, some of those guys that you just named, they try to crash anybody.
Fine. So. Yeah, that's fine. But, you know, like I said, for all the information you need on the GRIP seminars, you know, you can go to their website, gripseminars.com, January 19th through the 22nd. And then 2 weeks before that, the Northeast Motorsports Expo.
Yep, it's going to be a good time.
Yeah, so when we come back, me and Greg are going to touch on that and talk about some of the exhibitors and vendors that are coming up to the 24th Annual Northeast Motorsports Expo. So we'll take a break and we'll be right back here on Mainly Motorsports.
To order copies of a show, send a check or money order for $15, shipping and handling included, to Mainly Motorsports, 326 Roosevelt Trail, Windham, Maine, 04062. And please add a description of the show.
Hey, I'm Kyle Busch, and when I'm in Maine, I watch Mainly Motorsports.
Life in Maine is all about outdoor fun and being close to nature. Southern Maine Jeep is all about delivering you the best selection and the best prices at one location. Live it up with a new 2011 Jeep Grand Cherokee, increased horsepower and mileage, or go for the all-new look of the Jeep Compass 4x4. If Maine had a state car, it would be the Jeep. No other vehicle has the capabilities that come standard on every Jeep. No other dealer is working as hard to be #1 as Southern Maine Motors.
Thinking about a new camper? What if you could get a new camper now and not pay for it till next year? Now you can. Ask Scotts Recreation. Buy a new travel trailer, we'll make your payments until January 2012. Buy any new fifth wheel, we'll make your payments until March 2012. Over 100 units in stock and online at scottsrecreation.com. Camp now, pay later.
Scotts Recreation, Route 4 Turner and Route 202 Manchester, Maine.
Clark's Car Crushing has been a family-owned and operated business since 1978. We do everything from crushing cars, handling industrial scraps, to buying the scrap metal right out of the back of your pickup. Copper, brass, stainless steel, aluminum, you name it, we'll buy it. We have roll-off containers of all sizes for industrial accounts. We'll handle the legwork with full drop-off and pickup services. So for a professional job, guaranteed honest weights, and top dollar paid statewide, come see the Clark family in Farmingdale, Maine. Clark's Car Crushing. Don't fix it, scrap it.
You're watching Mainly Motorsports, brought to you by Award Champs, rewarding your champions. The official supplier of Mainly Motorsports. Southern Maine Motors, out to be Maine's #1 Chrysler Dodge Jeep dealership. Route 1 Saco.
Now we're 1 month away for the Northeast Motorsports Expo.
January 6th, 7th, and 8th.
You remember it, huh?
Yeah.
And I get fired up when I think about it. I mean, it's a lot of work, and I've been putting in a lot of work, and people are probably sick of hearing from me because there's still a ton of people that haven't got me their forms, and
You've called me up during the week, and I've been like, "Oh, what do you want to talk about?" And we'll talk for a few minutes, and then you're like, "Ah, I gotta go." And then I'm thinking to myself, "Yeah, he didn't mean to call me. He meant to call somebody else."
But I'm waiting on still forms from racetrack. I know they're coming, but I never assume. They could all of a sudden decide they don't like me. They don't think that
that's a good possibility.
Yeah, that's a possibility. They don't think the show is worthy, but anybody that's been the last 2 years knows.
It's not worthy. It's only 24 years old.
Yeah, and Tim and Ty did a great job, and you know, we're just trying to continue it on, and I think we have. And I'll tell you, if it wasn't for the support of some of the sponsors that have come on board with us, but that have been there, you know, first and foremost, Team EJP. You know, they do a great job in their display. They change it up every year. It would be so easy for them to go get
Right.
2 or 3 things, bring it in, call it good, and say, hey, we've
They
done our
never
part.
do that.
You know, Adam Ross and, you know, Tom and Ed Chapman, Peter and son Steven, they put their heads together and they come up with something each year that's just, it's just a highlight of the show.
Right,
You know?
yep.
And, you know, the show wouldn't be possible without them. 2 years ago, Quirk Auto Group came on board, didn't know what to expect. They prevent you. That's a neat little display with what they do.
Right, yeah.
You know, they bring all their reps in, you know, and they're going to do that again this year with a few more different things, you know. And, you know, it's great to have them helping out. Hell of a Good this year has stepped up, and they're going to be the sponsor of the Hell of a Good appearing awards, you know. So it's pretty neat to, you know, kind of put a title with the awards, you know.
Are they bringing some dip?
There's going to be plenty of dips walking around. And John Holland and his whole group, New England Racing Fuels, you know, distributor of Sunoco Race Fuels, they've been coming forever.
Yeah.
And try to do different things. Well, this year he's hooked up with Steve Magnanti, who is involved with Mike Joy over at the Barrett-Jackson auction. And a lot of following, a lot of people with street rods, you know. So it's a chance for them to come up. They can maybe bring a picture of their car, show it to Steve. Steve's going to have his Wilshire Shaker funny car on display as well that he's going to bring up with him. And you know, so he's one, you know, right into that stuff. And then who could say enough about award champs, you know, and Todd Mead. Everything he does with the Driver of the Month awards throughout the summer, the Mainleys, and, you know, trophies that when we take to the tracks and sponsor, the Mainly Motorsports TV 400 trophies, and then the awards he puts together up there, you know, for the Touring Driver of the Years, my annual Award of Excellence, you know, the Weekly Driver of the Years, the Mainleys, and then the, you know, the award winners up there. So, you know, I can't thank him enough. And then Marco in the Racing Paper, you know, helps us get the word out, and you know, he's around all weekend, and you know, has a great time.
There's a party. Marco is there.
Yeah. Racing Electronics helps us out with our communication side of things, and you know, sponsoring us some things. And then don't forget the motels. You know, you gotta get registered, because these motels are going to sell out quick. And you know, they did last year. They filled up, and they're going to fill up again this year. So, you know, go to the website, the Best Western Plus or the Comfort Inn, and, you know, tell them you want the Expo rate and you want to stay in one of the Expo blocked rooms, and you know, get started, because they're going to fill up. And, you know, as you will see when Greg starts running off the list of exhibitors, and, you know, when I go back with the vendors, you know, how many's coming. And don't think this is it, because there is more. That now they're going to say,
a monster list.
Yeah, now they're going to say, well, I better get my paperwork in. This guy's serious.
This is a monster list that we're going to be running through, and you know, you got to get your game together, or all the good spots are going to be gone, people, if they're not already.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're going to talk about some exhibitors now. We're going to bounce around a little bit, but, you know, for exhibitors, we got Beach Ridge, we got Central Maine Quarter Scale Tractor Pulls, we got Fantasy Speedway, we got MainRacing.com. Get on the forum and run your mouth.
Yeah.
And we got Ford Racing.
Ford Racing. They came up 2 years ago.
Right.
Mike Delahunty come up, participated. He's been back every year since.
Right.
And this year he's bringing up the winner of the Ford Blue Oval Challenge, which is the short track program that they do up here in the Northeast. And that's Wayne Hellowell Jr., so Bruce Bernhardt.
Which we had on a few weeks back.
Yeah, we had on when he mopped everything up at Oktoberfest.
Yeah.
So Wayne will be there throughout the weekend to meet and greet in the Ford booth, as well as sign autographs. So.
And I don't know the actual details of the whole thing, but what Bruce told me, you know, when we were chit-chatting up there, was that they changed how the Blue Oval Challenge is scored this year a little bit, so it's geared a little more towards a touring guy. And that didn't matter. They still
won it. And then on the you know, the vendor side of things, and the you know, some of the smaller exhibitors there, the Vintage Thunder model display. And people say, what is the Vintage Thunder model display? Steve Pellerin.
Yeah.
Anybody that's been to Marco's Racing Preview knows what Steve Pellerin puts together. He's never been to the Augusta show, and I'm telling you, there's going to be some people up there in the middle part of the state. They're going to really enjoy seeing, you know, models of Jimmy Burns' car, Dave Davo's car, Buster Grover's car, these guys' cars that Steve Pellerin has put together, and that's a huge display every year. But you got Action Racing, Crazy Horse Racing, Festiva Resorts, and a staple inside the door at the north wing to the right, Darlene and Russ with R&D Racing.
Yeah, they always are there in their spot and leading the way in the north wing. You know, and then back to some exhibitors, we got Maine State tractor pullers, truck and tractor pullers, and then we got the Nowcar Legends, we got Oxford Dragway, we got the 4-cylinder mini mods, the Midcoast Mini Cup, and then the always staple of the last few years is the Maine Vintage Race Car Association's trailer.
Oh yeah, that trailer's huge. Everybody loves that.
That's just
that whole group, and they look forward to this show
Yeah.
because they know they're going to get, you know, when they go to some place, it's that crowd and that crowd only. You know, if they're at
Right.
Beechridge, it's typically your Beechridge crowd. If they were to go to Oxford, it's typically. But here they know they're getting people from all parts of the state, out of state. So it's a chance for them to really put a nice display
And
together.
they always do a nice job changing up the display inside. So.
Yep, they do. And then Wayne Elston. You go into the door to the right, you got R&D. You go into the door to the left, you got Wayne Elston.
Right.
You know, and you know, a lot of history there. And Wayne's always has a good time up there. He always loves to meet and greet and talk to the people. So you know, get a chance to stop up and see Wayne. K&A Distributors. We've had Four Seasons Synthetic up there for years. Lee, the AMSOIL guy.
Yeah.
Well, Lee has a lot of other guys that are under him, and he's given them the opportunity to use the show as a marketing tool and promote their product. And K&A Distributors has stepped up, and they're going to be the AMSOIL representative this year. You know, Granite Leisure Time. You know, I mean, you just
saw that
Yep.
piece about the RC
You know, so
cars.
here's your chance to spend some money and get your RC car. And then you have Knick Knack Racing Collectibles. And you just heard me say the word spend some money. And one of the things that I've done the last couple of years with the show is brought more people that you're able to sell. And I mean, obviously I know it's after Christmas and stuff, but we're all racers and we're all always looking for something. So it's a chance to save that money and come up to the show and spend some money there and support the people that are supporting the show, and maybe get a better deal. And I know there's all kinds of collectibles, and there's going to be a lot going on.
Yeah, it's always a good time. And back to some exhibitors, we got Speedway 95, we got Thunder and Valley Raceway, the Valente Modified Racing Series, Winterport Dragway, and then Star Speedway, who we just had the piece with their champion Josh Cantera.
Last year Star Speedway came in 11th hour, calls me up, Bob Weber, Steve, I'd like to come to your show. What do you got? You got any space left? Geez, what do you want to bring? I want to bring Goodwin's Modified. So, well, let me see what I can. I squeezed them 14 feet, found them some space, put the Modified in there, small table. He had so much fun, so much hype, so much buzz, and a lot of people really enjoyed He's coming back this year with 2 Modifieds, a surprise car in his booth, and I don't want to say it yet until I get confirmation. And then, so he's going to go from a small display to a large display, and he sees the value in coming up to Augusta, and so that's pretty good by him.
It's just one more thing that Weber's getting back doing, bringing Star back to its glory.
And then, a few more vendors we have is S&C Satellite Entertainment, Wiotech. It's like a college where you can...
I went there.
Be a mechanic, and look where you ended up, right? So see the value of going to Wiotech?
Right.
And,
I went there when they only had one school.
Yeah, University of Northwestern Ohio. People say, what's that? Well, you'll see the logos on Eddie McDonald, UNOH. It's a school tied in with motorsports. It's a college that it's tied in with motorsports. You learn the facets of motorsports. They're coming up. And then Speedway Illustrated. Kyle Fredrickson, that magazine the last couple of years is, dropped, opened this, that, and Kyle's plugging away, and now Kyle is the man, kind of heading the organization up. And so Kyle's going to be up there with his entourage. And
not to, Dave might have to bleep this, but Kyle's worked his ass off to get that thing back going to where it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all his deal now.
Yeah, it is, and he's done a great job. And matter of fact, before we go to this next break, you're going to hear from Kyle Fredrickson as Bruce Elder caught up with him this past summer over at an event that was going on, and Kyle was up there displaying, his magazine and trying to sell subscriptions. So, enjoy what Kyle had to say past summer, and then get a chance to come up and see him in a month.
Well, once again here at Reynolds Motorsports on Father's Day weekend, and Kyle Fredrickson from the Speedway Illustrated, and back in business with Dick Berggren. And of course, Dick has quite a history, as you know, at Beech Ridge and with us here in Maine. So nice to have you here.
Oh, it's a privilege to be here, and Dick doesn't ever miss an opportunity to remind us that he has the track record when the track was dirt. But it's always a thrill to go to Beech Ridge, whether I'm in the grandstands or in a race car or in the pits talking to the guys. You don't see racers like you find at Beech Ridge, and seeing this turnout at Reynolds Motorsports is it's indicative of racing on the Maine seacoast. There's nothing like it in the country. It's perfect.
Well, we appreciate hearing that from you, Carl, and obviously you get around the country, I know, to a lot of races, and we do think we have something special here in southern Maine, and certainly the Beech Ridge competitors have greatly supported this day, which started out as just a Maine Vintage Race Car Association event. Calvin Reynolds wanted to grow this, and it's certainly working that way.
Oh, look at all the people. They're smiling. They're getting up-close looks at these race cars. And, you know, it says so much about the quality of competitor at Beech Ridge, that the cars are so well maintained. They're so professional. They're so well campaigned. These cars are like, they're brilliant. And the Naughty 40 guys, I mean, every car up and down this row is just fantastic.
Well, appreciate you saying that. And I know over the years, all the years of Speedway Illustrated, there were always some great articles on the Maine races. Some of the people who are now in the Hall of Fame have been on the cover. So this magazine holds a special place in the hearts of a lot of Maine race people, as you know.
Well, thank you, and we've been through a lot lately. The past couple of years have been a bit of a trial for us, but now the employees own Speedway Illustrated. The people who produce it are its owners. Dick Berggren is back. We have a magazine that helps people go faster with their race cars, help people learn how to go racing. If you're in the grandstands and you want to give this a shot, we'll show you how to do it, and it's only $19.95 a year. You can find it out at SpeedwayIllustrated.com.
Absolutely. Again, Kyle, great to have you here, and we certainly anticipate great success of kind of a renewal of the magazine that everyone enjoyed so much.
Well, thank you. It's a privilege to be here.
Thank you.
Hey, are you Bob Crowley?
Hey, yeah.
Are you going to Ossipee Trail?
Yes, I am.
Sweet. Get in.
People will do whatever they gotta do to get to Ossipee Trail Motor Sales, Route 25, Gorham.
Patman's Redemption and Agency Liquor Store is located at 95 Tanberg Trail in Windham, Maine. With over 400 feet of hard liquor and 15 doors of ice-cold beer and soda, Patman's can handle all of your beverage needs. And if it's wine on your agenda, we have over 300 varieties in stock. Then when the party's over, Patman's can handle all of your Maine returnables, and we welcome all bottle drives. And if you're late for the race, drop off the bottles and pick up the cash at your convenience.
Hey, this is Pat Man himself, just letting you know that Pat Man's is your one-stop shop for all your thirsty needs.
You're watching Mainly Motorsports, brought to you by Scott's Recreation, now at 3 convenient locations. Go to scottsrecreation.com to view their inventory. LKQ Core, any part, any repair, anywhere. Located on Route 202 in Gorham.
Have you been voting on the Mainleys?
I've been voting as often as I can.
Yeah. And,
my computer's down right now.
Your computer's down? I will tell people this. We are officially up over 6,000 votes.
Yeah,
So-
I knew we were getting close. We had talked, and you're like, I can't believe it. And
Yeah, so we have some runaways, which you always do.
Right.
But let me tell you, 6,000 votes. And
You're getting ready to beat last year's, aren't
yeah,
you?
there's a category, okay? The other day when I looked, okay, they had the same percentage, because it's all done on percentage as well as individual votes.
Right.
They were tied. 2 people tied. Now, obviously, they didn't get every category. Somebody's got votes. Okay?
That's going to be the 11th hour, isn't it?
Yeah. So if you haven't voted, get out and vote. You know, go to the www.mainlymotorsportstv.com and check it out. And what I forgot to mention in the last segment before we went to break, the northeastmotorsportsexpo.net for all your up-to-date information on the show. And if you're looking for vendor space or you're an exhibitor and say, hey, I didn't hear my racetrack. Well, chances are your racetrack's coming, because I've talked to all of them, okay? But they all know what I'm up against. I go by that paperwork. I want their paperwork in. I never assume.
Right.
Because I've assumed, you know, some people that I thought were coming.
Assumed in the past and got burned.
Yeah, so
Right.
I'm never assuming. you know, you're coming until you tell me you send your paperwork in with your check or your IOU.
Right.
So we're going to take a break. We'll come back, and me and Greg will wrap up this week's edition right here from the North Dam Mill of Mainely Motorsports.
To order copies of a show, send a check or money order for $15, shipping and handling included, to Mainely Motorsports, 326 Roosevelt Trail, Windham, Maine, 04062. And please add a description of the show.
Today's vehicles are equipped with complex safety features such as anti-lock brakes, seatbelt restraints, and airbag systems. Even collision avoidance systems. Not available in all models. Hi, I'm Sean Moody from Moody's Collision Centers. We don't wish bad luck on anyone, but even with today's technology, we need to keep our eyes on the road and our hands on the wheel.
Moody's Collision Centers, now with 6 convenient locations.
Is it time to replace that old car, but past credit problems are getting in the way? At JT Motors, credit issues are a thing of the past. We have vehicles for any need. Growing family? How about a minivan? With winter here, come in and browse our great selection of 4-wheel drive utilities. With a low down payment, you can qualify for this program despite those past credit issues. That's JT Motors, 650 Roosevelt Trail, Windham, where you always drive away with a smile on your face.
You're watching Mainly Motorsports, brought to you by Gary Hotels, located in Brunswick, Freeport, Waterville, and Augusta, the official hotel of Mainly Motorsports. Northern Race Tire, dealer for Sunoco Race Fuels, distributed by New England Racing Fuel.
Now we're back in the bush, right? And what is it about these two cats, huh? This one, you know, I don't know.
I'm done being on the soapbox talking about Cup drivers. I don't care who it is. Listen, this was coming down the road.
Yeah,
this wasn't an overnight just because he got mad at Dr. Jerry Punch.
Yeah, yeah.
No.
This was, I think they just needed an excuse and a reason to get rid of him, and they found it. And he gave it to him.
I mean, is Kurt Busch going to be in a race car next year? Absolutely.
Yeah, so if
he's a guaranteed starter.
Yeah, and he wins.
But is he going to be in Penske Racing's equipment? No. Is he going to be in Roush? No.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk of where he's going to be. I don't know.
He'll be in the front row.
He'll be in something. So we're going to touch more on that next week with next week's guest. And like I said, we were hoping to have the announcement today, but the I's got to be dotted, the T's got to be crossed.
Now you got to come back next week.
Now you got to tune in next week and make sure that.
And you don't want to miss this.
Yeah, you don't want to miss it because for some people out there, this is going to be a good opportunity just to be involved in. And, it's just another way of us at Mainly Motorsports working with some people out there that think that there's value in what we do and try to work together on some of these projects. So, it's that time of year, we could probably both get a gig as a Santa Claus or something. I was just thinking that, right?
Listen, I used to have a Santa Claus gig.
You got a suit, Santa suit?
No, I don't.
All right, well, I hope everybody's enjoying this month of December, holiday season, as they spend all their money shopping. Make sure you save some for the Northeast Motorsports Expo.
6th, 7th, and 8th.
6th, 7th, and 8th. We'll be back next week here on Mainly Motorsports.